Shadow and Puma and BB. Awesome. Nice to see all the felines joining us this evening. Okay, so we were going to get started, shall we? And Mr. Fluffy, I like that name. All right, let's get started. So a little bit about me to start so you know who we are and where we're going. So my name is Lucy Scott. I am a veterinarian. I graduated in 2015. I did mixed practice for, it'll be 6 years now. Might be a little bit longer, it'll be 7 years in March. And so I, last year, June, sat some examinations from the College of Australian and New Zealand Veterinary Scientists in veterinary behaviour, and since then I started Veterinary Behaviour Services New Zealand. So that is me and what I do. I am a total behaviour nerd, so I love talking about behaviour. I did a dog body language webinar 2 months ago, and if you guys want to find that, you can also find that on my page. And so that is me, and we'll get a little bit started on our content this evening. So our plan for this evening, I've got some videos and there should be some polls that go with those to ask you guys what you think is going on in the video. Why learn about cat body language? Just a quick why are we here this evening? I think most of us want to understand our kitty cats better, so that is why we are here. And yeah, we will go from there about how do cats communicate, some definitions, because it's easier for me if I've started at the beginning with some definitions. And we're going to go by body part, step by step. And then we're going to have a break for questions before we move on. I will ask at that point for you to hold on to the questions of why does my cat at that point. Just try and keep them to the questions about the PowerPoint. I'm happy to answer why does my cat questions, but we'll try and put them all at the end of this evening, not halfway through, okay? And then we're going to put it all together with some really great pictures that I found for us all. And the belly rub question, can I? I've put that in there at the end. We're going to finish with those same 3 videos to try and compare whether or not our understanding has changed. And that will be our evening. So thank you all for joining me. And I think our technological issues are going to continue. This should be, can somebody drop in the chat, can you see this cat's tail moving? Or is it still? That is frustrating. On my screen it is still. Can somebody just pop in the chat for me? Thank you. Anything? Just waiting. It's still. Okay, that's very annoying. I'm really sorry about this. Some technological issues just to keep me on my toes. So this cat is lounging, but its tail is just going like this. Thank you all for answering my question. I really just making sure you're all awake. So its tail is just going like this. We're just going to have to describe it because apparently technology is not my friend this evening. So I have a poll for you guys. And the question is, should I touch this cat's belly? Go for it, guys. And I'm going to give you about 60 seconds. So just remembering his tail's just going like this, okay? Awesome. Thank you, guys. It seems to have stopped moving. Sorry that it's that the picture's not moving. It's very unfortunate. I will have to describe to us as we go because there was these great videos and GIFs all the way through, which is very unfortunate that it is not moving. All right, I'm going to finish our poll now. So it says that 11% of us say, sure, I would touch that cat's belly. 80% of us are a nope. and 7% of us are unsure. Now, I'm not going to give you guys the answer because we're going to repeat this at the end, and hopefully that GIF will be moving. We'll see how we go, shall we? Right, next one we have here, which is also not moving. Okay, that's going to be a problem, isn't it? Never mind. This cat has its ears back, it's hissing, and it's batting at the window, at the mirror, at the cat in the mirror. It is, probably shouldn't add in some inflection because that will probably give you the answer to my question, isn't it? It has, so we'll just go to reset poll. And we're going to ask the question, why is this cat behaving like this? The options are she's scared of the cat in the mirror, she's trying to dominate the cat in the mirror, or I am not sure. So off we go, guys. Again, give me your answers. What do you guys think? Again, her ears are back, she's hissing, and she's swiping at the cat in the mirror because apparently I have to be your gift this evening because technology hates me and all of those things. So sorry about this. You guys are being really great sports with my audio not working and then these gifts not moving at all, which is a real shame because they were so good. All right. We're just waiting. Thanks, Jason. Yep. He says that cat is scared. Everybody else has popped in polls. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. And so, oh, we're still moving. I shall wait. Oh, it's a split. A bit more of a split than the last one. Awesome. So it seems to have stopped. So I'm going to end and show you guys. So 64% of you think that she's scared of the cat in the mirror. 32% she's trying to dominate the cat in the mirror. And 4% of us are not sure. Okay. This is a lovely Digitong who, if the GIF was moving, would be showing us a slow blink. And repeating that. Nice slow blink. So, my question for you guys is, does that blink show that the cat is scared, friendly, or you are not sure? Last one, guys, and then we will get on to some content. Very frustrating that my cat is not moving. When you don't want the cat to move, that's when it starts moving. And when you do want the cat to move, it will not move. Also, just waiting for you guys to have some answers, give me some answers. So again, guys, he's just doing a slow blink at the person behind the camera. Unless we are all unanimous. Okay. So unanimous. Everybody thinks that this kitty cat is feeling friendly with their slow blink. Awesome. Right, we will move on and we'll answer some these questions, shall we? So why are we here tonight and why do we want to learn about cat body language? So we're here to learn about cat body language so that we can avoid cat bites and scratches, especially in the vet clinic. This is very close to my heart, as I do like to avoid cat bites and scratches. So we know when your cat is uncomfortable or scared, really important for us then to know and identify whether they are stressed. So cats and stress is a very common problem, and cats stress and then underlying medical diseases after or before or during or coming together. So stress can be quite a problem for our felines. So if we can identify if they're anxious, stressed, or fearful, we can then reduce the trigger, make them feel more comfortable, improve the quality of our cats' lives. Prediction of behaviour. We like to know what our cats be able to predict what our cats are going to do. And of course, to improve the human-animal bond. So by the way, this is Jiminy. You will see him throughout. He is my reason for improving my human-animal bond. And he is also the reason I have a scratch on my hand. He's a cat. And we were here tonight to talk about them and to learn a little bit more about them. So let's go. So cat communication. So body language is the top way that cats communicate, but they also can communicate via vocalization, scent, and touch. So this was meant to be a gif of a cat rubbing its chin and its face on this cactus, which I thought was very cute. Very unfortunate, the frozen spot that it looks like it's just pushing its chin against the cactus. So that is actually, he is scent marking that cactus. So scent marking is a very, very important communication tool for cats. And so they have scent glands in the base of their tail, their lips, their cheek, the top of their forehead, and the base of their whiskers, actually. And so when they rub their bodies on things, they are actually leaving a scent mark so that their home smells like them, so that they feel a bit calmer. We utilize this with something called furry, which is a cat pheromone. So for cats, scent is actually extremely important. And us being humans, we bring things like smelly shoes and groceries and chemicals into their home, and they can struggle a little bit with that. But that's beside the point. They do communicate via scent as well. Touch, so they do a lot of rubbing, and they also do a lot of, if you guys have seen cats tail wrapping, that's a very cute communicative behavior between two cats. And if your cat wraps its tail around your leg, it's actually also a cute affiliative behavior. And we'll talk about affiliative behaviors in a second. Vocalizing. So yeah, cats do 5 different types of vocalizations. So they meow, they purr, they growl, they hiss, and they chirp. So meows start between mother and kittens, and actually we've now found that cats only meow because it works to communicate with us. So an adult cat that's meowing at you, they've actually kind of learnt to use that meow, and they use that meow in many different ways to communicate with us, which I think is absolutely adorable, personally. Righty, so let's move on to our number one, which is the body language. We will not be covering the rest of those as much this evening, so just saying that they're there, but body language is something that we like to use and can easily understand. So that's why we're focusing on that this evening. Just a couple of definitions for you. So distance increasing behaviours, yes, self-explanatory, but distance increasing behaviors are really important for our cats, and a lot of the distance increasing behaviors, if a cat did to another cat, they would get distance, but we don't understand them. So that's why it's in here, is that I wanted to bring importance to the fact that we need to be a bit more aware of our distance increasing behaviors and listen to them a bit, and that's why we're here this evening. And then we have dominance. So dominance is between 2 members of the same species over a resource. So I'll repeat that. A dominance interaction is between 2 members of the same species over a resource. So it has to be, say, 2 cats arguing over a cat scratching post, or the food bowl, or the cat litter tray. So a dominance interaction would be one cat goes to use the cat tray, the other pushes it off, and the cat that pushed off the other cat is the dominant cat. Next time, the other cat finds the food bowl way more important than the other cat. So it pushes that cat off the food bowl, and now the other cat is the dominant cat in that interaction. We tend to have one cat that controls the resources more, so we label them the dominant cat. But just remembering that dominance is just between 2 members of the same species, so we don't do dominance interactions with cats, and it's over resources. And then we have arousal. So arousal isn't anything to do with, well, it can be sometimes to do with sexual behaviors, but it's more to do with increased awakeness and alertness. And also it tends to come along with strong emotions. So that is what arousal means. So if I use that word, it is to do with just being more excitable, awake, overexcited. Affiliative behaviours are behaviours that cats do to show affection. So I was talking about tail wrapping earlier. That's a really good one that they do to other cats. And also scent marking them and rubbing themselves body to body is also another one. Talk a little bit more as we go. So we're going to start with eyes. So eyes, I've got 3 really good examples here, and the bottom cat is meant to go from a nice small pupil to a really big pupil really quickly and then go back to small again. So that is a sign that he is very aroused. He's looking probably at a toy or a prey. So size of the pupil is associated not only with light but also with level of arousal. So the round pupils can be fear as well. So being careful that if you notice a cat in the vet clinic has got big round pupils, that's quite a scared cat. So that's one that I'm going to back away from. This cat here on the right, is my right. Yes, it would be your right too. Sorry about that. Has got oblong and quite round pupils. So that is actually a sign that it's aggressive. And he's also showing other signs, but we'll come to those in a minute. So those oblong eyes, again, it's an adaptive response to let in more light as well. The same as our bottom one. And then we come to opened versus closed. So our top left cat, he is quite relaxed and his eyes are fairly closed. Now, something that we're going to talk about is that slow blink that we were talking about with that cat earlier. So the slow blink is a sign of being a really comfortable cat, a very happy cat. And also, it's also an affiliative behavior. So slow blinking back at your cat when they slow blink at you, it's quite a nice thing to do, to be quite honest, and they do recognize it back. So that is what that cat is doing. Also remembering that a direct stare is quite an aggressive behavior to other cats. So cats staring at each other is quite an aggressive behavior. So if you imagine, you remember this, think of the stranger who doesn't actually like cats, and cats really like them. It's because they don't stare, they don't look at the cat at all. So often they will find that person in the room because it's not staring at them, and they end up purring and rubbing themselves all over them when they don't want them to. So next we have ears. So erect forward ears, that's an alert ears. So that's Jiminy here on top of his post. He's got quite forward, alert ears. Now our Ginger on the bottom, he has quite relaxed ears. They're not to the side, they're facing forward. He's also got other signs of being quite relaxed in his face, which helps. And our cat at the top has his ears swiveled to the side. So swivel to the side and then backwards. So that is a little bit unsure. And then all the way back is actually quite scared or quite angry or both, to be honest, because fear often causes aggression. So the cat that swivels its ears back is not comfortable. And the one that's got them pinned right back could well be aggressive if you go any closer. And then we have mouth. So my cat on the bottom is meant to be hissing, to the right, sorry. She's meant to be hissing. And as you can see, that's a good example also of the ears, is those ears are swiveled right back. She's also crouched right under with her tail underneath her and all 4 paws underneath her. She is being quite defensive and she's saying, please do not get any closer. Our cat on the left is actually doing a behavior called gaping or the phlegm response. So what he's doing is he's forcing pheromones into a little hole just inside of his mouth, which leads to the vomeronasal organ. So the vomeronasal organ detects pheromones, and pheromones are species-specific smells. So it takes that pheromone straight to the brain, so that it's sort of like a shortcut for that smell. And pheromones, because they're species-specific, that's a big way that they communicate. So that's what that cat is doing there, is just pushing that smell up into that vomeronasal organ with that gaping face. And then we have whiskers. So this cat should hiss at us, and its whiskers should come forward. So whiskers are a really, really important thing for our cats. So our cats should use the whiskers to feel, and they also bring those whiskers forward when they're alert to something. So that's actually, they rotate them forward when they're interested, and also in aggression as well. Sweet. Moving forward. Now this kitty cat's swishing its tail like this. So I've got flicking would be just a little bit like this. Lashing is a bit like this. And if your cat is thumping its tail, it is really uncomfortable. So we go from flicking is slightly irritated. Lashing is really not comfortable, and I'm about to get up and move. And thumping is don't come near me because I will hurt you. Now the bottle brush tail. So the bottle brush tail could be what I'm going to show you in the next slide, but it could also be, there's a very, very cute set of cats that do a bottle brush while they're showing affiliative behaviours, and I'm not sure if anybody of your cats do that. Please hang out. I spent quite a long time earlier looking online trying to find a video for us of a cat smooching, but its tail is just softly bristled out. It's really cute to see how they get all sort of fluffy. So the bottle brush can mean one of two things. So the other thing it could mean is, sorry, it didn't have the picture that I was looking for, is here, it's on this slide. Piloerection. So this cat has also got that bottle brush tail, but its hackles are raised all over. So that cat is actually showing aggression. It's defensive aggression, as you should know, because cats that do this with their spine, and you also see how the tail like hooks up and then goes down, that is defensive aggression. So it is not wanting you anywhere near me, and I'm making myself bigger so that I look less scary. Sorry, more scary, so that you don't come near me. Rosie, have you lost sound? Has anybody else lost the sound as well? I'm really sorry if that is the case. Okay, Rebecca, your sound is still working. Sorry, Rosie, I think it is just you. Cool, good. Thank you. Thank you guys for answering me. It's nice to know that I'm not talking into the ether. We'll go back a little bit to just you, Rosie. Thank you. Thank you all so much for answering me. So tail position. So a friendly upright tail is friendly. Excited is upright. And has anybody seen the zzz, like there are two different options here. One is that they're really excited, and the other option is that they're going to spray. So they do that just before they they urinate on the wall. So that is what that tail could mean. So an unsure tail, instead of being upright like this, is just out at an angle. So we're friendly, but we're a little bit unsure. So, and then the same with this, but with like a hook at the end. Still, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty friendly. And there's this lovely sort of question mark tail, which is just sort of curious and friendly, which is quite lovely too. If your cat's tail is clamped around its body, usually they're trying to be as small as possible. They've got their paws underneath them. That is a sign they're quite anxious. So watch out for that one. It can come out and flesh, or they come back in again. And the same thing with it being tucked underneath their bottom, is that they're quite scared. They do share that with dogs, which is the only sign really that they do share with dogs with their tail. Very different. Awesome. So we're going to have a quick break here. So ask about those questions, any questions about the PowerPoint slides so far. Now, remember I said we're just going to hold my cat does this, what is he doing? Questions for the end session. But if you've got any questions about the PowerPoint so far, let me know. Oh, and there's the chat section, or there's the question and answer. I can check both of them. No questions? Awesome. Must now have been clear. We'll move forward then. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Jack. I really appreciate it. Awesome. Jack says that she's really enjoying it. She? Sorry, I don't know with the name. Oh, I've got a question. Thank you. Question from Lynn and Chan. Is it uncomfortable for the cat if the whiskers get cut off? So I don't think it's uncomfortable, because I don't think they can feel their whiskers, but it is a really big welfare issue for them afterwards, because they essentially lost a lot of feeling. So they actually, I had my pet cat as a kid came home with his whiskers cut off, and I remember him being really disorientated and struggling with being able to drink from a bowl. And I've also seen horses do the same, just try to put their nose into a bowl and struggle with that. So yeah, thank you for asking a question. And then I've got Maya. I missed the explanation of distance increasing behavior. Definition seems obvious, but does it mean fear, anxiousness, etc.? It can mean any of those things. So the underlying emotion could be fear, it could be anxiety. So fear and anxiety so your anxiety is less than a fear, but it could still be underlying both the same. If that makes sense. It's more of a sliding scale. So yeah, like you say, so distance increasing behavior, the emotion could be underlying is fear or anxiety. Those behaviors come out the same way. So a really first common distance increasing behavior is actually the cat looks away from you, and then it moves its body a little bit, and then its tail starts twitching, and then its tail starts moving more. Sometimes they'll actually move over onto their belly, which isn't to show their belly, which isn't actually a sign that they want their belly to be touched. I'm answering my question from later. Isn't a sign they want to be touched, because it's actually getting ready to do this with their paws, because they're actually ready to protect themselves. So yes, so distance increasing behaviors, they're the subtle ones that I'm talking about at the beginning that could be signs of being uncomfortable, anxious, or fearful. I think that was a long way of answering your question. But yeah. All right, we're going to move on to putting them together. So I found these beautiful pictures from a book called Animal Behaviour for Shelter Veterinarians and Staff. So shout out to them, because they are going to be really awesome for us this evening. So they put together our different sizes that we were talking about earlier and put them in one picture for me, which is so good. So I've got this cat here. So his ears are forward and erect. He's got a purposeful upright walk. His tail's upright. He's got a little bit of curve in it, but it is mostly upright. We could say he's a little bit unsure if it's got a curve in it. And it has eyes. They're moderate. So we're saying they're appropriate for whatever the light is in the room. So if it's a really, really bright room, his pupils will still be bigger than if it was a dark room. But he's a confident cat. He's on the prowl. He's off looking for mice at the other end of the barn. Next, we have him again, but relaxing. So he's got his head and his ears are up. Those whiskers are soft and to the side. He's got medium-sized pupils again. So his paws might be flexing in that kneading motion. So kneading is a really interesting behavior. So it's an instinctive behavior. So it starts when they're kittens and they do it to mum to increase milk flow. And they carry it on into adults, and they use it when they're comfortable and they're sleepy and they're settling down, which is quite gorgeous if you ask me. So we've got our tummy, which is semi to completely exposed, which says he's comfortable and he's stretched out. So he's feeling pretty confident and safe in this moment. That's right. So moving. Now we've got our friendly, attention-wanting cat. Now they've just talked about the different glands that the cats have. So cats, usually when they're attention-wanting, are marking us and rubbing on us as well. So they're using all these glands to make us smell like them. So we've got them on the head, the forehead, the chin, the corner of the mouth. And then also, by the way, one of the reasons that cats will scratch is because they've got scent glands in their paws as well. So they're not just doing claw health, but they're also scent marking their home and that scratching. Awesome. Moving forward, which also might be a reason that they need as well. Okay. Next, we have our scared cat. So his back is arched, his fur is up, and his ears are flat backwards. His whiskers are pulled back in this case, but they could be back or they could be forward. And his eyes are as big as they can be, so they can let in as much light as possible. Yeah, see, he's also sort of on his tippy toes, he's trying to make himself as big as possible. And he's got that tail position that we were talking about earlier with the slight hump at the beginning, and then it goes down. So there he is, our scared cat. Our anxious cat here is hunched with that tail close to their body, rolling over on one side to better expose their claws. That's what I was talking about earlier, is that cat that actually rolls over to its side to actually be ready to scratch you, not asking for a belly rub. Beware. Their muscles are tense and their eyes again are large to let in the light. That's a cat that is feeling very uncomfortable in this moment. We see quite a few of these cats in the vet clinic, and we have to be very careful because we don't want to scare them more. And then we have our defensive aggressive cat. So his ears are pulled flat and back against the head. His pupils are dilated again. He's got tense facial muscles, showing his teeth, is hissing. And he's ready to swat at you if you go any closer. So we can move from this anxious cat to our fearful cat very, very quickly. Defensive, aggressive cat. So something that we have to be very careful of is to not push them, in fact, as far. And lastly, I have my stalking cat. So he's low to the ground, his muscles are tense, his tail is out. So he's feeling quite confident about himself right now, even though it's not up because he doesn't want to signal that he's, I'm here. So it's down low and his ears are forward. It should also have his whiskers out like this because he's looking at the mouse and he's thinking about pouncing on them. And if you've all seen the video of the cat that goes like this and then it wiggles his bottom before it pounces, they're shifting their back feet ready to pounce. So this kitty cat should show us. Oh, it's such a shame these gifts aren't working. A beautiful, luxurious roll over onto its belly and expose its belly, and I'm very comfortable. Now, I have a lot of people who go, oh, my cat really loves belly rubs. And I'm like, could just be absolutely sure it does want belly rubs. So lots of cats will do the roll over onto their back and show their belly because they're like, I trust you, I feel comfortable. It's not always an invitation to touch their belly. A lot of cats do learn that touching their belly is a good thing and they like it. Same as dogs. But in fact, actually, for both sets of animals, belly rubs are a learnt thing. They learn to like them, and exposing their belly is not actually something that they will naturally do for wanting a belly rub. Yeah. So going back to my non-moving gifts. So this time, guys, we're going to repeat this poll. And we'll be faster because I'm sorry, my gifts aren't moving. If you remember, he's showing his belly, he's very comfortable, and the tip of his tail is moving just like that. So I'm wondering if anybody's answer is going to change this time. So, should you touch this cat's belly with this tail twitching just a little bit like this? Just a little bit twitchy. Oh, I haven't pressed publish. Sorry about that. There you go. Gosh. Technology. Somebody was ready to pounce. Awesome. We've got quite a big change this time. So I've got 3% of us are saying sure they'd still touch the cat's belly. I think you're playing with fire. I think that tail twitch could turn very quickly into a tail lash and then turn into a tail thump, and then there would be claws. And that would happen within 3 seconds flat. So I think you're very brave. A lot of cats do still like belly rubs, so I can understand why you'd still be in the sure or then still not sure. But that tail twitch says to me, I don't think I would touch his belly at that point. Yeah. Awesome. Then we have our... This is a shame because this was a really good video of this cat. Essentially, she has got her ears back, she's hissing and she's growling at the cat in the mirror, and she's actually swiping at the mirror. I hope you guys, that's a good enough explanation for you, and I'm sorry if it isn't. Technology is not on my side this evening. So I'm just going to try and go ask you guys what you think. So why is this kitty behaving like this? 1, she's scared of the cat in the mirror. 2, she's trying to dominate the cat in the mirror. Or 3, you're still not sure. That is fine if you're still not sure. My explanation is as best as it's going to get because I am not a kitty cat. And my gift is just not working as well as I hoped it would. And thank you guys for being so engaging. I really enjoy it when my audience talks back to me through the chat or the polls. I really like that. Thank you. At least this part of the technology is working, right? Awesome. I think we've stopped, so I'll show you guys. So, still got a couple of answers coming in. Okay, I'm going to end it now. So I've still got 62% of us are saying she's scared of the kitty in the mirror. 33% saying she's trying to dominate the cat in the mirror, and 4% of us are still not sure. So I'm going to go back to my definition of domination. So dominance is between 2 animals of the same species, which technically she thinks is another cat. So yeah, for sure, we've got 2 animals of the same species over a resource. So I don't see any resources in this. She's not trying to scare the other cat away from a resource. But she is showing quite a lot of signs of being fearful. So she's actually being fearful, aggressive. So cats will go aggressive when they're scared to try and scare the animal away. So that is what she's doing here, which is a shame that you can't see it. Sorry about that. All right. And lastly, we have our wonderful ginger kitty cat. I did do a ginger on purpose. That is slow blinking at us. And what do you guys think? Is this kitty scared, friendly, or still unsure about this one? We were pretty unanimous earlier, so I think we've got this one. Yeah. let you wait a few seconds more, but I think everybody's going to be unanimous on this one, which is great. Awesome. Yeah, so 100% of us think that he's being friendly, and they're right. So that slow blink is definitely an affiliative behaviour, showing that some affection towards you, and they do it to each other as well. So you can watch out for that. So make sure that if you're worried about the two cats in the house, whether they're interacting well, things to look out for are rubbing against each other, slow blinking at each other, lying next to each other, and that tail wrapping behavior as well. So they can actually some of those vocalizations as well. So the chirp, that's quite a cute little talking to each other behavior. Not the chirp at birds or other prey. It's more of a chirp, like a little, like they talk to each other as they go past each other and say hi. Yeah. Things to look out for. So I am all done for this evening, but I'm going to go, I've just got a little star next to my services here. So I'm going to offer you guys a discounted phone consultation. So I offer phone consultations, Zoom consultations, in-person behavior consultations, which is absolutely my favorite thing to do. I love coming to help people in their homes and set it up, especially for cats. That's a really useful thing to be able to do. And I also do a one-on-one training and coaching if you want to teach your cat a behavior, including things like going into their crate to go to the vet clinic, or quite a lot of what we call cooperative care behaviors for the vet clinic. So I do quite enjoy teaching cats those sorts of things. But as I was saying, I'm going to offer you guys usually it's an $80 phone consultation for half an hour. You guys have got a link here which gives you $30 off, so it's a $50 phone consultation. Grab that link. If you don't want to grab it now, it's going to come out in your replay in 24 hours. So yes, there you guys go. And I'm going